This part looks a bit sketchy right here. So there looks to be some people down there in the...
Today we're heading beyond Stoddard Falls to Stoddard Peak with over 6 miles and just over 1,100 feet of elevation gain.
So this is the parking lot. You could park across the street and you could park right here. And I'd recommend getting that adventure pass, which is right there. And you could park down there a little bit more, but I recommend the four-wheel drive if you're gonna go down there into that section over there. But now we're gonna look for the trailhead to Stoddard Peak. All right, so this is the start of the trail. And you can see that sign right there, letting you know about the flash floods. And right here, you can see all these big mountains around you, which is just amazing. And you could just see all the different types of vegetation. I'm not sure what the name of that one is. And just all these rocks along the creek bed. All right, so this road right here, there's gonna be a path. And I'm gonna go down this path right here, and you can see the trail up here. And down there is San Antonio Creek. And that right there, it'll lead you up to Stoddard Falls, which I will try to check out later on in this video, and I'll show you that hike. But it's a pretty cool waterfall, very popular. A lot of people will come down here and swim under that waterfall, and that's why the parking lot was so filled up when I got here. But I'm not gonna get to that side now. So that right there is one of the pools. And you can see the climb we're gonna be doing. This hike is just over 6 miles round trip. So it's not that long of a hike, at least compared to other hikes that I've done.
Now I'm going to shoot up above and I'm going to give you some aerial footage of the hike as I move up through this mountain. You can see down there through the canyon right there. And we're above Angeles National Forest. So down there would be the San Antonio Creek.
So we are actually getting further above the canyon, and you could just hear the water roaring down there. So there are actually cabins down in this area. You can see one down there. It's actually pretty cool that you could actually live in a cabin down here next to this creek and these mountains. And they actually even have like a sign right here letting you know that there's a trail that takes you to Stoddard Peak and the private property. So we can't go down here, but we could go up here. So it looks like this is our very first creek crossing. And you can see this nice little hobbit house kind of thing. Honestly, I think it's a really neat house. And you got this sign that says, "The Lord helps those who help themselves. But Lord, help anybody caught helping themselves around here." Interesting. So now I'm just going to continue on. All right, so once we pass this little cabin, up ahead we'll see the road closed sign. And that right there will be the official trail head to Stoddard Peak. So now you're starting to see that the increase in elevation is going up at this point, even further. And you can see one of the big mountains right there. I don't know the name of that one, but it could be any one from Ontario, Cucamonga. But I know once you get further up there, From a distance, you could see Mount Baldy. So I don't know if we're quite out of the woods yet, but at this point, I'm pretty exposed in the hike to the sun. But the views are going to begin to open up, and you can see the parking lot down there. That's the road we came up through. So we're getting pretty high up at this point. And I believe one of these mountains is Sunset Peak. I'm not sure which one it is, but the Google Maps is pointing me in this direction. It's somewhere on this side. But over here, there looks to be some type of trail up there, but I don't know if that's a hike to a peak or not. All right, so right now the trail is pretty flat, but up ahead, you could actually see down there is the city of Los Angeles. But the further we get up, the more you will notice it. All right, so the further you get along this trail, you're gonna notice that the trail just starts to become more and more narrow, because we basically started from a road and now it's just a dirt path. But it might get even more narrow later on in the hike. And so you're gonna see these nice pines coming down the mountain into the canyon. So right now we're still kind of in the forestry part of the hike. And from a distance, you could hear some type of spring or creek up here. So if you were to hike up a little bit more up there, there might be some water up there. So this hike has been a smooth, gradual incline. Nothing too crazy so far. So it's not a bad hike in terms of difficulty so far.
When you're hiking along this path, you're gonna see the switch around or switchback that leads you up to the peak. So what looks like a peak up there, it'll be just a little bit past that when we get up into the area over there. But this is a very scenic hike. When you're going along this path, you get these amazing, breathtaking views. And I thought maybe I'd pull out a different perspective. Before this drone crashed, this was all the footage that I had managed to capture and put into this video. But later on in this video, I'm gonna do an aerial footage shot of Stoddard Falls coming down into the creek. And that was the very last video I used from my drone before it crashed. And right here, we're almost to the peak, you could see.
According to the All Trails app, I'm getting pretty close to the summit. I believe it's just under a mile I have left. But down there, you could just see the road. All right, so I don't know if that's the peak, because I was told that there is a false peak and the real peak. So when I get up there a little bit more, I'll be able to tell if that's it or not. So when you get to this junction, there's gonna be this side right here and this side right here. So be careful, because one of these sides takes you to the trail, and I believe it's this one over here. So I just had to go through all that thick brush and vegetation to get up to this point. So you can see the trail down there, but that trail will take you to Frankish Peak. According to the All Trails app, I have about 0.6 miles until I reach the summit. And this is the part where you're gonna get awesome views. It is right around all this brush. So down there you can see Los Angeles, Claremont, and the whole city down there. So we're pretty high up. And behind me, you just get all of this. So this is pretty neat. So if you look farther enough, beyond all those mountains way out there is the Pacific Ocean. And you can see from a very good distance the Santa Monica Mountains, which also has a lot of great trails. And when you get close to the summit, you got this nice cool rock right here you could just stand on if you want to. And this part looks a bit sketchy right here, so I'm gonna have to just take my time getting down here, but there are some rocks I see I could climb up through and get down there. So I just did some rock scrambling. It's not too bad. In that area I came down through, as long as you sit down and then hold on to the rocks and the branches, you'll be okay. It's nothing too sketchy. And you can see this side of the mountain range. And it's a bit hazy on the other side of the mountain range. But we are getting to the summit. So this is it. You're gonna see the V and the 12. That's letting you know you're at the summit.
So now I'm gonna grab the sign right here for Stoddard Peak, and it's over 4,000 feet according to the sign.
So this is all of it. Down there you can see the Santa Monica Mountains over there, and then on the other side you can see the ocean. But you got all these different peaks up here. And over there is Mount Baldy. We've done that one before. So this is the hike. So I'm gonna head back down and try to get to Stoddard Falls to end the day. All right, so now we're heading right where that sign was at earlier. So we just gotta go down there and that'll take us up to the waterfall. So let's get down there. So here's the sign. Now we're gonna cross this and we're gonna go left where those people are going. So there looks to be some people down there in the pool. So I believe it's down this way. So there are other ways to go. I'm gonna go down through here because it looks to be an easier and shorter route to get there, but you can come up through up there. So I made it down to the creek. Now I'm gonna get to the pool in just a bit. So I did get my feet a little bit wet, but I'm going through this creek right here and there's a lot of people here today.
So I'm getting pretty close to the falls. So I have to climb over this rock right here, which is a bit sketchy. So you got to be very careful about this part. And I got to the pool, and this is the waterfall. There are a lot of people here. There must have been 100 people on this trail today. So if you do this hike, get up early and do it. Get up at 5 or 6, or do it on a weekday. But I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.